Coming up on tonight's first show of the season, we will preview Saturday's showdown with the Salukis as one of the best programs in the FCS moves up in class for both teams' season opener. Deep Blue will premiere with a profile of BYU defensive end Tyler Babby. Cornerback Jacob Robinson will be our in-studio guest as he kicks off his senior season, and we'll have a Q&A session with our audience members, the coach, and Jacob right here. Well, 30 years ago, yes, 30, he played his first game in a BYU uniform. 8 years ago, he coached his first game on the BYU sideline. Saturday night versus Southern Illinois, he will lead the Cougars into their 100th season of football. And to kick off our season of shows in Studio C, please welcome back the head coach of your BYU Cougars, Kalani Sitake. My friend. And Hazel Haymuli, she's back this season. Well, I just dropped that number on everybody. You were a freshman 30 years ago.
Oh, you just told them. Nice.
Yeah.
No, yeah, that's yeah, I feel old now, but it was a cool time for me. I remember my true freshman year, and that was a really cool year. So just hopefully we can have the same kind of season that I got to enjoy as a true freshman.
Look at that.
Yeah, there I am with not so much white hair, and yeah, 18 years old. So yeah, it was before my mission.
Yeah.
A lot of fun. I had the honor of being able to play that year as a true freshman, and it's a lot of fun. People
look at the jersey number and they say, I thought he was 34, but before the mission.
I was 23 in honor of the guys that wore it, like Vice Kahema, and it was a big hero of mine. And when I came home from my mission, I got to wear 34 for another hero, Kurt Cuvea. And so, I mean, I could name all the guys that played. I grew up a big BYU fan. I just wish I could change the numbers and honor everybody. I think Lake Haymuli already had his number taken, so I couldn't get 35, and 34 made a lot of sense. So that's how I would pick the numbers. Kalani's got this encyclopedic memory of that kind of stuff. We were in the makeup room, and yes, we do get made up before the show. A little bit, just a little bit. Greg more than me. I had more space to cover. We were in the makeup, and I mentioned the '94 season, his freshman year, and he started ticking off game by game by game by game the result kind of all the way through the season. It came back pretty quickly, didn't it, to you? It did, yeah, and it was, I mean, just a cool experience. Like I said, I grew up loving BYU from birth, and it was a dream come true to be able to play football for Lavelle Edwards and to play here at BYU and to rep the Y. And so those are moments that I cherished, and it prepped me really well to go on my mission. And I enjoyed. But you served where, by the way? In Oakland, California. And it was an awesome experience for me, and tough, but I loved it, and grew a lot, and then came back and was able to finish up my career here at BYU with Lavelle, and was able to go out with Lavelle in his last year being, I was one of the that was my last year, one of his captains my senior year. So that was a lot of fun. I could probably fill in all the experiences and probably give some cool stories, but nobody wants to hear about that right now. They want to hear about 2024 season. That's what we're going to get to. Well, the stories emerge throughout the course of the season. Do, yeah. Speaking of time flying, your 9th season as BYU's head coach this year. Yeah, and I'm loving every second of it, and just you know, I've been really fortunate to be here, and I love the experience, and I think. A lot of people ask me, well, is it difficult? It's hard to say it's difficult when I get to be around such great people and I get to interact with the fans. I think the best part about this show is that I get to talk and hang out with the fans after, and in between get to answer some questions. And I think I have to keep reminding everyone that I before I'm a head coach and before I was a former player, I was always a BYU fan, and that's who I am deep down inside. And so this is being able to live this dream, and can you imagine I get to play football for the legend Lavelle, and then I get to be the head coach. And so it's something that I don't take for granted, and I want to cherish every moment that I have as the head coach here. And one of the best things about this show is a part that no one gets to see, because it's during those commercial breaks that we just kind of talk and you take questions, and it's a lot. I learn a lot too. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, there's a lot of fun. So if anybody wants to come here and be part of the live audience, one of the reasons to come. Yeah, it is. And if you come on the right days, they even feed you here. So you know, if you get lucky. Second year in the Big 12 for BYU. What would some lessons be that you say you and the program learned from year one of Big 12 football? Well, I think it's just the experience altogether. We knew that it was going to be uncharted territory for a lot of people, and and specifically the players. And now they know what to expect. I think it was some tough lessons learned, and we went through some adversity, and we had to make some adjustments along the way. And then we had to double down on things that we knew that we were doing right. And one of them being the culture and what we can build on our basically our talent that we already have, the foundation that we've already set. And so we went forward with that, and I think it's worked out really nicely. I know a lot of people haven't been able to see us play, but we're looking forward to showing it on Saturday. And I think we have a lot of talent and a lot of guys that have been through the experience, but more than anything, these guys worked really hard in the offseason. I know everybody says that all the time. I've never seen anything like this. It's going in my 9th year, and I've been a coach for a long time. I've never seen the effort and the energy that went into this offseason by a team, and so I'm hoping that it will show on the field. I think it will. It's been great all camp, and we've had some great leaders stick around and want to be here, even though they've had opportunities to go other places for more money. They stayed here for the right reasons. We get one of them here tonight as a guest. And guys that are here for the right reasons, that's why I want to coach here. I just want to be around these people and around these players, and I think they're going to represent really well when it comes Saturday night.
What do you think led to that sense of motivation and focus and doubling down that you've been witnessing in the offseason?
I think you just go through the experience altogether. It's I think you've been around me when I said it's like having children, right? When you're young and you're newly married, you think you have all these. I had all these opinions on things. I think one of them was like a movie theater. Like, why are people bringing their kids in the movie theaters? I remember thinking that, and I keep thinking to my wife, when we're parents, we're gonna do things so differently. No, we're about the same, but we just had to kind of go through it. And you could read all the books you want. You could try to figure it out. And once you get that experience, you get that taste of what it's like. Now you have to adjust and get to the second year. But now you know what it's like to be a parent. You know what it's like to be in the Big 12. You have that experience, and now you have something to fall back on. And then you kind of get some connections with others that are gone through it the same with you. And then you know how to kind of go with it. And then by the time you're an expert when you have your other. I mean, I remember sterilizing everything with our first child, and I'm sorry for my other children that came afterwards, but it just got to the point where like, nope, I'm just going to put this in my mouth, clean, and then put it right back into my daughter's mouth, and she'll be fine, and no one will ever know. But I mean, you just kind of get some things that I don't think the books can get you ready for it as much as the experience. Luckily, we have wonderful people around us that have great support for our team and our players. And we can always lean on that. The one thing that we knew we can count on was that our fan base is amazing, and they are big time. They've been Power Conference from the very beginning, even before I was born. They were always a Power Conference fan base. We knew we can count on that, whether we're on the road or at home. And now we're looking forward to entertaining them and giving them what they deserve. The
fan base and everyone else are waiting to see who will take the first snaps at quarterback on Saturday night. You've decided to keep that close to the vest until game day. Southern Illinois is doing the same thing on their end. Your thoughts on why that was the right plan for this year and this year's team?
Yeah, I think maybe a lot of people are trying to read into it too much. I don't. It's nothing to be disrespectful with. It's I think we have an idea what we want to do. We want to show our hand, and I think SIU is doing the same thing. But I have a lot of respect for their program, and so anytime you don't have to give up the details. You shouldn't, you know. And so I think in other times that we felt good about it. I feel good about our entire team and the skill that we have on our team, the talent that we have. And so I think that you'll find out when we get to the game. And but it's nothing to try to. I'm not trying to be sneaky or anything like that, but we have good players. The reason why isn't because we don't trust them. We trust a lot of our guys, and we're just trying to do exactly what the other team's doing, and then we have other opponents that are down the road. But the focus is to get this win. This team is dangerous. They've had, in the last 2 years, they've beaten FBS opponents, and so we're not going to take them lightly. This is how we are every week, and it just happens to be the first opponent. And so last year they beat Northern Illinois, and the year before they beat Northwestern. And I don't know if those guys took them lightly, but I know we'd be fools if we did. And so we're not going to do that. We're going to respect them, but we plan on them giving us their best, and we plan on giving them our best as well.
This opener Saturday night, by the way, kicks off BYU's 100th season of football. You get to be a part of it.
Yeah, I can't believe it, man. It's a dream come true, and I'm excited to be part of this program and to see some of the cool things I've seen It's 8 years of the head coaching going into my 9th year. And just to be able to reflect on the time that I played when you were here. I mean, we're getting old, but this is kind of cool that we're part of history and part of something special, and that's being part of the BYU family.
It all starts on Saturday night, season 100 in year number 102, and it's the 2024 season. It was a tough finish for last year, but it was a season with plenty of highlights. We've gone through the archives to select 5 of our favorite plays from BYU victories from last year. Let's check out these highlights, 2023 highlights presented by Waystar. Play number 5 was one of 2 Chase Roberts plays we're going to see. And this was against Cincinnati, a memorable touchdown catch because it may or may not have been going to Chase, but he was the guy that ended up with the ball in his hands and took it into the end zone for a 59-yard score.
Well, I mean, if there's any question, just throw it up to Chase, and it should work out.
We're going to stay in the same game, and our guest tonight, Jacob Robinson, put BYU on the board with a 42-yard, well, there's another look at the Chase Roberts catch. Here's the Jacob Robinson 42-yard pick six from that Cincinnati game. One of our highlight plays from last year, and Jacob will be reliving that play with us tonight as well.
Love coaching this kid. He's a stud. I'm so excited about this year for him.
He's now sitting at 8 career INTs and that pick six from last season. All right, play number 3, we go to Fayetteville, Arkansas. Kind of the emergence of LJ Martin. This was a 45-yard touchdown run that helped you guys settle in at Fayetteville.
Yeah, true freshman. I think it's going to be exciting to see him play this Saturday, and it's going to be a lot of fun. But I think now this is him trying to learn the playbook. Now he's a veteran. He understands it. He knows the plays. He knows where to be, and I think it's going to be even better for him this year.
And he's good to go for game 1, yes?
Yes, he is.
That's great to hear. All right, play number 2. This is Darius Lassiter. Not a scoring catch, but one of the best catches you're ever going to see. That's people brought big on, were bringing up the name of Odell Beckham when they looked at that catch from Darius Lassiter last year.
Well, he does this in practice too. So I mean, we have a lot of receivers that do crazy catches, and they're great. They can track the ball in the air, but I mean, I like the old-fashioned two-hand catch, take it to the end zone. But if we need to,
well, I hate to disappoint you, because our final play we're going to see is going to be another one-hander.
Yeah, I had a feeling. But I mean, this is when a quarterback doesn't throw it spot on. These guys can go make the catches, and they actually practice the acrobatic catches often with Coach Fessy.
And number 1, as we're going to flip back to Fayetteville, Arkansas, it's the game winner, and it's Chase Roberts again.
Yeah,
one-handed in the back of the end zone.
I think that was one of the first highlights, right? That just throw it up to him, and he'll figure out a way.
So there we go. 5 great. By the way, honorable mention, there was a play in this same game. Parker Kingston, a wide receiver, threw to Deion Smith for a touchdown in that game as well. It was a really nifty play. That almost made our cut as well.
Yeah, another freshman that played last year for us, and looking forward to seeing some of the things they can do on the field on offense and special teams.
Well, the 2024 BYU football season kicks off in 5 days against Southern Illinois here in Provo. Then it's back-to-back away games, and it's Big 12 play, including a pair of bye weeks. Let's take a gander at the season slate presented by Smarty. And I guess the news there of that is there are 2 bye weeks for your team this year.
Yeah, that's great. I don't.
Well, it's 2 bye weeks for everybody, but you get to space it out a little bit and have a couple of breaks.
That works out, but I kind of like football every week, BYU football every week. But that's okay. We'll just have to deal with it and try to rest up and make sure our guys are ready to go. But it allows our sports scientists and our coaches to kind of plan ahead and where we can kind of get these guys to peak at the right moment, and then to regain ourselves and restructure and get ready to go again from square one.
You notice some numbers next to some names on that schedule. 5 Big 12 teams in the preseason AP Top 25 poll, and you get 4 of those 5 at your place. Yeah,
and it's great to have them here in LaVell Edwards Stadium, and our fans are going to be rocking, man. It's going to be a lot of fun. I think it'll be a good advantage for us. But the entire schedule, I'm excited about. I know that for us, there's some difficult games out there, but all 12 of them, we want to make sure we play at our best. And you mentioned last year that we didn't end up the way we wanted, but we did some really cool things as well. And if you're looking at the record, we know we can improve on there. If you want to be nitpicky about it, we're just a few plays from turning that whole thing around. So a lot of the guys come back. They're more talented. They're bigger, stronger, and faster. So I imagine that the product should be a lot better this year and should work out in our favor. But the game's different. You have to respect your opponents. I just know that our guys are ready for this, and we're excited. And we've seen a lot of improvement in the last 8 to 9 months.
A lot of football between now and the end of the season, and you're only worried about Saturday. But this is the first year of a 12-team playoff in college football. It's another new era in college football. How much do you hope that that becomes a true motivator for not just your program, but all these other programs as they now search for something new at the end of the season?
Well, I think in the independent era, it was always about how you play. You had to win style points. You wanted to find a way to get into the playoffs or play in a New Year's Six game. And that was always weighing on people. So like when you played and lost an early one, it was kind of difficult to regather it and get everyone focused on trying to get to a bowl game. And now the path to the championship's a lot easier now. It's never been so clear and so attainable, which is win the conference and get in the playoffs. And so when you bring it down to that, the games in the conference game matter a lot more than anything. And if you do well in the conference play, you're going to find yourself in the conference championship and win that thing, and you're in the playoffs. So that's pretty much a guarantee for us, and we've never really had it that clear for us. So that the path is set, time is ready to roll, and we're going into our second year. It's going to be an exciting time for us.
And we start rolling Saturday. First ever meeting between the Cougars and the Salukis of Southern Illinois. SIU, you mentioned the wins over the FBS. In fact, they're 3-2 in their last 5 games against FBS opponents. Preseason coaches poll in the FCS, they're number 11. They finished top 10 to end last year. They finished in the FCS top 10 in a ton of defensive categories especially. That's where they were at their best last year. One of the best defensive teams in all of FCS.
Well-coached team. The coach, Nick Hill, does a great job. He's coaching at his alma mater, so he has a lot of pride for his school too. And
you know what that's like?
Yeah, I know exactly what that's like. He's going into his 9th year, so
just like you.
Yep. So I know that he's got a lot of experience as a coach, and he's had some great success on the field. He's gone to the playoffs, and the FCS level, they're ranked. They're considered a powerhouse, and they play in a difficult conference where they're playing North Dakota State and South Dakota State, and they make it to the playoffs in that conference. So they're a tough team. I mean, you said the last 2 years they've had success beating FBS opponents. So we're not taking them lightly. We only have 12 guaranteed opportunities to play, so we can't squander one opportunity in this. We know what they're about, and we got to make sure that we're at our best this weekend.
Interesting connection to their program. Their last trip to Utah came in the spring FCS playoffs of 2021. They played at Weber State, which was coached by Jay Hill.
Yeah, so Jay Hill has the film, and I know he's excited about this game too, because that didn't work out in their favor, but I think Weber jumped out to an early lead, and the Salukis don't give up. They just keep playing hard, and they find ways to make plays, and they find success, and we just got to make sure that doesn't happen on Saturday.